In the past, sales professionals enjoyed easy access to their prospective clients. This was mostly due because the sales professional was the most knowledgeable resources on new products, how they could be used in the client's business. Clients would invite the sales professional in to present their products and educate the client on their product's value proposition, do training, and also ensure that everybody could get the most value out of the solution. The sales professional often had carte blanche access to the client's entire staff. They could roam around and talk to just about anybody they liked, building strong relationships. Those days are effectively over. With the advent of the internet, social media, and remote digital meetings, sales professionals are finding it much harder to gain access to their clients early in the sales process. The new digital world has opened up global markets that the sales professional must now navigate correctly if they want to be successful. And the sales force has changed also. Now almost half the workforce consists of millennial and Gen Z sales professionals. And these younger generations are extremely tech savvy and generally have much different career aspirations. And they're also motivated to perform much differently than past generations. Here are some changes dramatically altering how sales are conducted on the global level. First, the internet has broken down barriers to new markets and diverse cultures. Gone are the days of just selling into the US market. A sales professional may have clients in 5 or 6 different continents. Social media has completely changed how people communicate, both personally and in business, utilizing programs and apps such as Teams and WhatsApp on a daily basis. And the growing millennial and Gen Z workforce is changing expectations of career growth opportunities, their reward systems, and acceptable communication methods, all of which necessitate a whole different leadership style and methodologies. These structural changes to the way business and sales are conducted have created many challenges for businesses selling into the global marketplace. For instance, fears of COVID and slashing of travel budgets have made remote or digital meetings and impersonal communication through social media apps the norm. This has led to a general disconnect between buyers and sellers, since trust and relationships are much more effectively built through personal interaction and sharing of experiences. The ease at which foreign markets can be accessed through social media and remote meetings has created many opportunities for diverse cultures to interact daily. The salespeople who have not been trained in cultural intelligence and cultural orientation, they often struggle when they don't understand and have empathy toward the business cultures in which they're selling into. And finally, the leadership tactics that sales managers have utilized over the last 50 years don't work with millennial sales professionals. Sales leaders that only focus on driving revenue and don't create an environment that appeals to the millennials' individual purpose will experience high turnover and likely fail to meet sales expectations. They're also likely to lose lots of very talented people to the competition, which is very bad. So here are some questions that we need to answer. How has the shift to digital meetings affected the ability of suppliers to build trust and effectively scope complex solutions? Next, what do sales professionals need to do to refocus the sales process on how buyers buy in the new digital world, while simultaneously building strong, trusting relationships with customers? So first, let's dive into how the new digital world has changed sales dynamics between buyers and sellers. Technology and the internet has irrevocably shifted the power from the seller to the buyer, and in many ways that we didn't really anticipate. For instance, information is now at the buyer's fingertips. They can do most of their research up front without ever talking to a salesperson, which in many cases takes away the need for them to talk to salespeople early in the sales process. Also, many people are working from home now and not going into the office, making it almost impossible for salespeople to see clients as much as they used to. So how can the sales professionals streamline their prospecting process and get the initial meetings that they need? Well, the first thing they need to do is spend considerable time researching the companies that they're targeting, including all potential decision makers and influencers that they need to build relationships with. Also, if the company or site in which they're targeting has a parent company, it's best to research that parent company's strategic initiatives and other pertinent information that could help you when networking with new contacts or prospects. So, what cultural dynamics should be learned prior to doing business in a new international market? The definitions of culture cover a wide range of perspectives. Culture represents the things we see, the tangible, as well as the intangible things. Culture consists of the shared beliefs, values, and assumptions of a group of people who learn from one another and teach to others that their behaviors, attitudes, and perspectives are the correct ways to think, act, and feel. The work of Gert Hofstede, while he was employed at IBM in the late 1960s and early 1970s, still stands as one of the most comprehensive studies of cultural values on leadership in the workplace. From his data collected from over 30 countries and 100,000 individuals, Hofstede created a model of value dimensions that speak to the ways that cultures tend to operate. According to Hofstede, the 5 main dimensions are identity, power, gender, uncertainty, and time. So you can think of cultural value dimensions on a scale or a continuum, where one aspect of the culture lies on one side of the scale and the other extreme lies at the other end of the scale. I'm going to go over each cultural value dimension in detail in another video. But for now, just remember that cultural value dimensions help you to understand the culture and to be able to make sense of that culture prior to doing business there. These dimensions can provide you with a perspective of the culture for yourself, as well as a perspective of how others within that culture perceive themselves. All cultures experience these dimensions of difference in many ways, and different cultures solve these differences in many different ways as well. So becoming aware of these concepts helps you to figure out the experiences you have in relation to your own culture. It helps to make that experience less ambiguous and threatening when going into a new culture that you don't know. The cultural value dimensions provide clarity and a starting place for cultural awareness. However, they're often seen as intangible and under the waterline, but once you adapt to the cultural dimensions, you will become more comfortable and you won't see the cultural difference. And this is the way that you can build strong, lasting relationships and trust in a new business culture. So what are the characteristics of the growing millennial workforce that our sales managers need to know to more genuinely connect with their sales teams and motivate sales performance? Baby boomers and Gen X sales organizations are finding themselves unprepared for the generational shift now unfolding, and it's actually more of a wave than a shift, as power is being delegated from executives to teams comprised of an increasing number of millennials and Gen Zers. This digitally inclined workforce is changing the way that revenue organizations operate, from implementing stronger collaborative styles to fully utilizing the information capabilities of modern technology. One major change is that these new digital natives are doing away with hierarchies. This new generation has a heightened ability to quickly and efficiently communicate their needs. The oldest millennials are around 41 and the oldest Gen Zers are around 24. They're what we call digital natives because digital technology has always been part of their living experience. According to Gallup, they make up about 46% of the full-time U.S. workforce, so they have significant sway in culture building. Millennials and Gen Zers expect to work in communities of mutual interest and passion, not structured pecking orders that many of us are used to. If someone feels strongly about something, they will make it known, even if it means taking it to the CEO. So they expect open door policies and open communication. And if their expectations aren't met, they will search for opportunities elsewhere, which can create a lot of turnover, and our competition can get very good resources. The worker's relationship to technology matters more than ever. Millennials and Gen Zers utilize technology in all aspects of their lives, including work. They expect to have the latest and greatest technology available in their workspace, so it's up to us to make sure that we supply that. They know how to utilize this technology to add value to their work, and they want to showcase their talents. This is how millennials and Gen Zers look to work up into their careers. These diminished hierarchies mean more collaboration. Sellers must also realize that getting buy-in from executive no longer means you have a golden ticket to a closed deal. We've seen a dramatic increase in the number of key stakeholders involved in deals in recent years. In fact, there's now an average of 6.8 people involved in each B2B purchase decision.